Namaste, ladies. Thank you for being here. And today we're going to continue with our philosophy class. And we're going to be talking about the koshas. The koshas will go on your reading test, and it's something that it will be asked, and you need to know. And it's super important for everything that comes for philosophy. In your manual, the koshas are after the chakras, and they're page 364. So let's start. Koshas means layers. Camadas. And basically saying that we have different layers within ourselves. We not only have the physical, actually we have 5 layers and 3 bodies, types of bodies. So, okay, kosha is layer, and then you will see that the different ones, for example, Ana, Maya, kosha is the first one, and Ana means food and is about the physical layer. But the other word that we see here is Maya. So let's talk just a moment about that. Maya is an illusion. It's like also name of a goddess. Está una de las partes de los koshas dice Maya, like Ana, Maya, kosha. That's the first layer. No? Ana is physical or food, and then kosha, we already know, and then Maya. So Maya here is the name of a goddess, and also translates to this veil of illusion. It's like, you know, when the bride put a veil in front of her face. This is like Maya. It's like, doesn't allow you to see the truth of what it really is. And we can say this whole planet is under Maya. Maya is illusion. The inability to see what is really real, not perceiving the totality. Most of the times, we are going to interpretate and perceive things according to our own level of consciousness, our vitris, and samskaras. One example that is used that is easy to catch is like, let's say you have a lamp, and on top of the lamp, you put a blue shawl. Then what do you see? You see that the light is blue now. But is the light blue? No, the light is golden, yellow, but because you put something in top, now you perceive the light to have a different color than what really is. Again, in the Yoga Sutras, after explains Yoga's Chitta Vitri Nirodha, is going to explain this type of vitris, that some are aklishta and some are klishta, which we'll see it more ahead. But basically, some are colored and some are not colored, or some cause pain and some don't cause pain. In the same way, we are all the time interpreting and doing assumptions in different situations without really seeing the reality of what it is. Because Maya, because this illusion that is created by our mind, brings interpretation that is again connected with our past experiences, and then we cannot see what really is. Okay, another example very popular of Maya, for example, is, let's say that is a little darker here, and you are coming close to synergy, and the garden maybe more grass, and then you see a snake, you see a green snake all coiled together, and then you see the snake and you flip, you like jump and you run and you start screaming, snake, snake, snake. And I'm like, what snake? Yeah, it has a snake there in the garden. And I saw it all green like fire. No? And then we go say, now let's go see this together. We go, snake in Miami, we go Costa Rica, okay, but not in Miami. And so then we go to see the snake, and indeed is the water hose that look like a snake, and you're like, oh man, it was dark and with the shade, right? And so then another example, sometimes, let's say you go out at night and then you come back early, not too late, but then you're going to enter your house, and you see like the whole street goes black. You lose power on the street. Now it's pitch black. Now you're looking for the keys in your purse, and then you look and has a man in the corner, and he's coming towards you. And it's all pitch black, and you're by yourself, and you look, of course, you can never find the keys when you look for the keys. That's a classic. Now you're like more frenetic looking for the keys, and you can see that the man is coming towards you, and now you start having palpitations, and you start sweating cold, and oh my god, he's going to attack me. That's it. So you finally find the key. You're even shaking at this point, and you put the key inside the door because you couldn't see because it's all pitch black. And now when you put that, power goes on again in the street, and then you look, you're already ready to fight. You're ready to like punch the guy, and you look, and it was basically a bunch of garbage bags piled up that gives sensation of big men, but it was just garbage, and because of the wind it was kind of moving like this, and you swear there was a man coming towards you. And again, you have reactions as it was real, but it wasn't real. It was Maya. It was an illusion, almost like an optical illusion of your mind, a perception that did not exist as it is. And another funny example is, this is for the ladies. So let's say you start a new relationship, and you are, in the beginning is like lovey, so much, and you are in that stage, you communicate great, I miss you, I adore you, la la la. And then your boyfriend goes for a travel trip, and for a couple of days, no problem. You're like, okay, I won't miss you, la la la. And then say goodbye, and girlfriend says, okay, I will check on you, we'll see how you're doing. All right, so the guy leaves, maybe, okay, he went to Orlando, not too far, and so left at 8 a.m., by the time it's like, I don't know, 11, you're like, hey, how is it going? Are you almost there? And then the guy doesn't reply. And you're like, oh, it's strange. You know, he always reply. Maybe he's driving, busy driving, no problem. Day goes by. Then a couple more hours, 3, 4 p.m. Girlfriend again. Hey, so is everything okay? Let me know when you get into your hotel so I know that you're safe and you made it and your final destination. No reply. Now you see the vitris of the girlfriend. Girlfriend first, full of love, concern, caring, Then already by 7, 8 p.m., now no more caring. Now she's angry. She's like, why are you not responding my messages? I don't understand. I'm just worried about you. Just please let me know quickly if you're okay or not. And I don't want to bother you. Just want to be, it's a 5-hour drive. I just want to know if you made it safe. Nothing. And now, you go crazy, like all females. You probably in the happy hour with that co-worker of yours and you don't want to answer me, and why will you do that? And I don't understand. It doesn't take any time from you, and in vain, no answer. Yeah, then 10, 11 p.m. you start calling your girlfriends. Now you are from angry, now you're sad. Oh, another vitri in one day. All the emotions. Now you are sad, you're crying for your girlfriend. I don't understand. We had a great communication. He always replying. Now he's not talking to me. If he want to break up, why he just tell me? And then I will know. I don't see any explanation for this. And you go to sleep crying. Your friend's like, okay, relax. Wait for him to say something you don't even know. But you just don't understand, and you are an ocean of emotions, right? And you go to sleep like that, and you don't even sleep well. You wake up completely drained out and tired, eyes are all swollen, confused, heartbroken. And then again in the morning, it's no messages at all from him. And then finally around 11, then you get the call and says, hi, how are you, sweetie? It's me. I miss you. Let me tell you what happened. I was driving to Orlando and I stopped to go to the bathroom at a gas station. And guess what happened? The phone dropped inside the toilet and the phone completely broke. And the company took so long and gave me a new phone. But I finally got it. And I miss you. How's everything? And girlfriend is like, so happy he didn't got all the 25 nasty messages that she had sent. And she was like, oh, yeah, everything is okay. So, yeah, it's like a funny thing. But you can see this happening, right? Sometimes we basically have assumptions or expectations of false reactions of how things supposed to be or not supposed to be. And that is all part of this Maya, of this illusion game that is really going to make you suffer, because any expectations cause suffering, right? We expect things to be certain ways and there never are that has supposed to be. And so you just a waste of your time. Then so that is Maya. So in Vedanta, Maya also appears. We only talk a little bit about the history of philosophy, but we didn't really study what is, yoga, sutras about, or Vedanta about. We're just understanding where in the history they are appearing. So now we have an idea, right? But we will go a little deeper into it. So Maya appears on Advaita Vedanta or Vedanta. And it says Vedanta is saying that is one source, one God with many different expressions or many names, if you wish, right? What doesn't allow us to see that God that is equal and make us equal with all living beings and creatures is Maya. It's almost like the moment that you drop in this world, you are enchanted by Maya. It's almost like you put some, glasses, and now you can see the reality as you're supposed to see. The more that we do this awakening practices, the more that we are more clear on what is real and what is not real, and then we start perceiving the world in a different way. Now, again, all children are important. All animals are important. No child deserves to die above the other one. No animal supposed to die above the other one. So this is when you start seeing more equanimity and more like neutrality. All life matters. And again, when we start opening that perception, then we also have the joy of feeling connected with everything, and actually this is a real thing. You go like, even like I went to Costa Rica and I went to this yoga event. It's called Sunday Church. And they have a meditation, and they have a static dance, and everybody's dancing, and then the river, and then after everybody come along and they do a sharing, everybody shares how they feel, or like a lot of people, and then they eat together. And even being there just for a couple hours, I already, like, you can recognize the other person at the soul level, like, yeah, we are family. And maybe you meet this person 10 minutes. So people that are awake, you will get into this frequency where, you will be treated like family. Like if you go to India, this happens very often because they already have this mentality. That's why they will treat you with lots of like a special guest, because God is inside everybody, and I should treat everybody as I see God inside them. What doesn't let me see God inside everything and all the circumstances is the Maya. Maya covers my eyes. So again, this is coming from Vedanta. And now let's talk a little bit about the koshas in itself. So the first kosha is Ana Maya kosha. Ana translates to food. So this would be the physical kosha. And also, I think we have an image in the back of the, if you turn the page, you will see an image, and I will share here an image too. And you can see so on page 367 has a circle and with the different rings. This is what we're using, very simple. But let's go one by one then. There we go. So the first layer or kosha is Annamaya kosha. Anna means food. Maya is illusion. and kosha is layer. Let me see if I can. 1 second. Oh yeah, maybe this is better. This is the link that I had shared before. We have in like this better. So Annamaya Kosha is the physical layer, therefore is the most superficial. Annamaya Kosha is going to be basically everything that you can touch. Your skin, your body, tendons, ligaments, muscle. That's Annamaya Kosha. Definitely an illusion, because we already learned, we already talk about that the soul doesn't die, that has a process of reincarnation. So therefore, the body is not real because it exists now, but it will not exist later. Just like this chair, you know, you get a wood chair and you can see the wood chair because it's made of material. But if the chair deteriorates in 10, 20 years, how real is the chair? Now we have a chair, now we don't have a chair. So it's not real according to philosophy. In the same way, we need to embody this and not be so preoccupied with the body. And it's okay to be strong and fit and like that, but also understand that if the body is going to perish anyway, why we're going to be so preoccupied with the body? You know, the body is a vehicle for the soul. El cuerpo es un vehículo para el alma. Each couple of years, you must get a better car. Hopefully a better model. Right? Upgrade. Hope. What is going to determine if you have a better car is your actions, your karmas. Now, who is the driver? The soul. Every couple years, we change the vehicle, we change the body, like we change clothes, but the driver is always the same, is the soul. So life after life, we reincarnate and we get a new car, a new vehicle, a new body, a new sex. So the soul can have another journey, another road trip of life, and experience and learn what it needs to learn. So again, if I put this into practice, today, nowadays, we have, all kinds, and, a little bit doing something static, no problem, But if you're going to put 5 times bigger chest, 5 times bigger glutes, now what really impresses me is the lips. No, they don't look nice. They look strange, very strange. almost like a duck. And why is Maya is an illusion, almost like a dementia, I would say, that putting making the body bigger, this, that, will making them happier.
But same, I saw the same face, everyone, like similar. They look the same. The same, like.
Oh yeah. Because
like
they put this up and then this is the.
What is like the ego, like word ego word. The same face.
Yeah.
Everyone has the same. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, but I feel like I want to be her. Same, I do like whatever I have to do to be like, who I am.
Right. Exactly. We want to be unique. You want to be unique. And I think I don't know where I was, but I think I stopped in Colombia for how do you say wait for a connection. And this was like 3 years ago, and I got so impressed because all the ladies have big glutes operation of the butt, and the butt look humongous, like completely artificial. Like you can tell that it's just not yours. So it has something about that. Has something about aging, and I go a little bit something okay, but everybody's going to age. You're going to age. You can live forever. So it's okay to be at peace with your aging process as well, right? Because we want to be at peace, because peace is joyful and serene. But we have an issue with this Anamaya Kosha, because now you have women that is 70 and they look like 30. And it's also strange. It's also strange. It's like grandma looks better than me. It's like, okay, right? So it has an issue. People are really preoccupied on making everything looking so nice in the outside. But inside, they're still having mental issues. They're still depressed, and they're still, with a lot of like anxiety and traumas and all kinds of things. So we definitely know that, Anamaya Kosha, we have a body, we have a physical body, but we are not our body. We are not just the body. We have a body to operate, to experience the world right now, to learn, more importantly, to learn. Here, this is why we are here as humans. We need to learn something. Maybe you become a mother and your job is to, experience unconditional love. Maybe, you need to learn something else and go deeper into your own self-development and studies. Whatever it is, we are here to learn something behind. And so, yeah, we want to be sure to put, things in perspective, so we don't have, any type of confusion. Because any type of confusion is going to equal suffering. Confusion brings suffering. Like you said, who am I after all? And I saw on some Instagram post or something, which also now some girls from Korea, they were trying to go back to their countries. They were I think in Turkey, doing some, statics operations, and they couldn't travel because their face did not match the passport face. And they were left in the airport, and it was like a thing, like you can't go home because you're not the one in the passport. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny, It's funny, but it's not funny. So again, this society has an obsession about, the body. And even like, for example, you will see like even in yoga, Hot yoga is super popular, you know. First of all, you're supposed to wake up your internal natural fire, your agni, just like when you have Kundalini awakening, you feel internal heat. This is the real fire that you have, which is Manipura, Kundalini. When you have an external fire that we have, you know, when it's winter, maybe we can put it, but now it's like so hot. But people are obsessed with this sweating, you know, the sweating to be slim, to be skinny. And then after that, you know, they leave the yoga class and they still completely, um, you know, eating badly and eating carbs and eating processed food. So they go to a yoga class to sweat, 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 to get skinny, to clean the body, to purify the body, but they leave the class and then drink alcohol. So it's Maya, is that illusion that doesn't allow you to really see what are you doing, what's going on. Yeah. And so this is represented by that first layer. For most superficial is Anamaya Kosha. If you're all the time, and again, I, you know, now I like to work out, do some weights. I mean, as you age, you need to lift some weights for bone density as well. Actually, we do have yoga and weights. You know, you do chair pose like this, warrior pose like this. Yeah, why not? You know, you merge and then you pray and then you do meditations all together. But the point is, if you're going to meet someone, let's say a man, right? Most guys that are spending 4 or 5 hours in the gym, they don't have high intellect. Is very common. Of course, have exceptions. Have men that maybe they're very wealthy and they can spend 4 hours in the gym and 4 hours still studying and doing self-development because they don't need to work so actively. But common rule, if you spend 5 hours feeding your biceps to become strong, how many hours are you working your neurons? How many hours are you studying, learning a language, learning about history, or whatever it is that you want to learn? Again, no judgment on knowledge, because knowledge is knowledge. You can be a mechanic and know so much about cars. I don't know much about cars, right? So it's knowledge. But this is what happened, you know, an obsession with the body. So for you as a yoga teacher, you need to teach yoga classes that will penetrate all these 5 koshas in one yoga class. In one yoga class, you need to go through all the koshas. So clearly, how we're going to make influence on the Annamaya kosha is doing asanas. So with the asanas, we influence the body layer, right? And we are doing twists and opening the joints and all that. So that's clear. Now, second layer is Pranamaya Kosha, or the energy layer. We all also saw that a little bit yesterday. That's another question of your test. What is prana? Prana is the vital force of the universe. Anayama is expansion. Therefore, pranayama is the expansion of your energy field. Now, prana, okay, so is the energy. So now we cannot touch. Annamaya Kosha, we can touch. I can touch my joints. And when you guys are adjusting, you can also see how is the joints. Is it more mobile, more rigid? Now, Annamaya Kosha, you cannot touch, but you can feel it.
I prefer feel. When I start to train, like my body, for me, always I find I want that body, I want that body. When I don't know why, what happened, but I start to go in and in and in. I find my energy, real energy, and I'm gonna start to feel my when I train. I go to business. Oh my god, my business. I go to the energy and I start to change my body. I don't want that body right now, or in this moment, because I want to feel my energy. Was my life change at all?
Yeah.
My body change at all without like no force.
Exactly.
I don't need to use my like in the past because I want it. I try every day, every morning, like 3 hours. I never happen, never change. When I start to like connect with energy, I start to like meditation, like real, like connect, everything happen.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like years ago. At first, I think we start with the material thing because it's the real things we can, and then when I go like deep and deep and slow, and I found my energy and was better, was very really better.
Oh, it's nice to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pranamaya Kosha is the energy layer. And yeah, you cannot touch, but you can feel it, right? And like today, we can feel it. Sometimes we have like a lot of energy, and sometimes we have low energy. And you can also feel other people's energy, like when you are coming to approach someone and they're welcoming you, they are smiling, they're receptive, their energy is open. It's almost like you feel their heart open as well. So that will be, how you connect with that. And then also sometimes in the same way, you will feel like someone is like closed off or is almost like it has some dense energy around them. You can feel it. But Pranamaya Kosha is related with all these energies. And you can also say that it's related with the emotions, because the emotions can keep you up or the emotions can keep you down, right? If you're motivated, if you're happy, you're up. If it's something bad happened and you let it affect you, then you're down, just like this, whatever circumstance it is. Of course, has different circumstances for different people, but I know people that like, oh, it's raining, so I cannot, I'm not going. It's raining, umbrella. Uber, and so sometimes what happens is these vitris, the emotions, they overcome the person, right? And now you lose your identity of who you really are, and now you become that emotion.
We're talking about that.
Yeah. So we want to remember, okay, this is just a layer of myself. That's not who really I am. And having that clarity of mind, removing the veil of Maya, please. And remember your identity of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Ananda means joyful bliss, completely happiness. And Chit is knowledge and eternal. So you are always full of happiness and love. You never die, you forever live until you have the good knowledge and understanding that you are who you are in this essence. You are a mirror reflection of God. When you understand and you live the experience that you are just a ray light of the sun god, you come back to the source. You see, you go back to the higher planets. Otherwise, no, 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 no. Repeat the second year, repeat the third year, and you repeat until you have the understanding. So we have energy, but that's not our totality. Again, we have many up and downs in the same day, perhaps. So we can say, I am this, I am that. It's just an emotion. It's just a victory. It's just a wave. And you know that if you're having one, it should pass because they are not real. You have an emotion right now. An hour from now, you have a different emotion. According to the circumstances, you might feel completely different. It's almost very crazy too, kind of funny, maybe. So in a yoga class, we're going to make influence in pranamaya kosha with pranayama, right? We're going to do breathing exercise. We always recommend to start with a pranayama, and we always recommend to finish with a pranayama. In the beginning can be a pranayama to center. Sometimes people are driving, half an hour in traffic to get here. When they get here, they still not here. They still thinking, did I park okay? Oh my God, thank God that I made it safe. It was a horrible crash, and they're still very much there. So the pranayama will help them to relax. And then before shavasana, another pranayama, definitely to relax the nervous system or center. And then as yogis, we also need to be accountable and responsible for our own energy. So how can we keep our energy, our pranamaya kosha, full of vitality? We talk a little bit, and let's just say a few things. So one would be being rested, descansado. If you're not rested, you're going to have less vitality. Then another is having good quality foods. Not fried, not processed, no pesticides, because then you don't get the energy. You get garbage that you think you're eating with your mouth, but when it goes inside your body, is not nourishment. Like we said about the meat, when the protein, okay, have it raw. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to your body, like that. Some carpaccio. Then, what else? Another ways to get energy is being in nature. Being in nature gives you energy, like see the sunrise, go for a walk in the grass, in the park, in the mountains. You got literally, I don't know who said, we are like a plant with intellect. Mm-hmm. So we're supposed to get at least 15 minutes of sun a day. It can be really early, it can be the one after 5 p.m. that is absolutely non-harmful. You don't even need sunblock at that. If you go 8 a.m., 5 p.m., you don't need anything, really. And also be careful with that, because some of the products are highly toxic, and they're also meant, unfortunately, to also make you sick, which is very sad. So we're supposed to get a little bit of sun every day. We're supposed to have good quality water. Remember, the water in Florida is contaminated. We need to have alkaline water. Some water is dead. Plastic is dead. Can is dead. So we gotta be so remembering that people buy like cases of plastic bottle in the big supermarkets, but if that is touched by the heat just for a little bit, now you're drinking water with particles of plastic, because the plastics start coming off bad. So then another way that we already said, pranayama, breathing exercises. If you have a low energy, you're going to have much more energy if you do breathing exercises. Yoga overall, but specifically pranayama, prana, energy, breathing exercises. So with those, I think you're good, no? Like resting, good food, sometime in nature, and some breathing exercises, and then your vitality, your energy will be up high, right? You will feel more energized. Okay, and moving forward, now we have the mana maya kosha. Now mana comes from the root word of manas, and manas is mind. And this is the mental layer. Mental layer, mana maya kosha, which is also an illusion because we are definitely not the mind. And this layer of the mind, the manas, is going to act like almost like a manager. And the manager is very bossy. But we do need, a little bit of this, and the mind will say, you gotta wake up at 7:30 to be at Synergy at 8:30 for class. You have dentist on Wednesday. Don't forget to pay your bill on Friday. Otherwise, it will be in a wild world, right? We'll never make to any appointment. We forget everything because our intellect is just not right. So Manomaya Kosha is that intellect layer where basically this manager is given instructions for us to go about our day, and whatever is that we need to do, either go to work or train, but as you know, is also very demanding and very, the judgment is there, ahankara is there. The intellect, the mind is divided in four parts that we're going to study later. Ahankara, buddhi, manas. So there's different layers of the mind. And as you know, it can be very draining, like you become a slave of your mind. The mind is the boss. You lost position. And in the same way, I even have sometimes this manager, and sometimes it tells me, no, why do you gotta go train every day? You're not tired? It tries to convince me sometimes, like, no, I should be resting, And so sometimes this happens. You're like, no, I gotta go to class, I gotta be there. And then you have this voice that says, nah, it's Sunday. Want to just rest, take a break. You deserve. You work so hard. You're like, what? Right? So the intellect needs to be purified. The intellect needs to be also, in a way, we need to do this technique so we can turn the manas to become more sattvic and also to become our friend, to support us in our practice, and not the other way around. And in Ayurveda, all disease that happen in the physical body comes first from the mind, right? Someone that has problem in the liver, and we tell them you cannot drink, like you have an issue with your liver, they still drink. So the mind is so powerful, they cannot control, and they ended up doing incorrect actions. So what makes the body sick? The mind, with the wrong choices. It's not that cancer runs in your family. It's not that diabetes runs in your family. It's the wrong choices that runs in the family. It's the repetition of the same mistakes. So as we know, we need to do these techniques to be able to minimize this toxic intellect. And we need the intellect, otherwise we don't know what is a chair, what is a spoon, what is a wall, what is a car, what is the Vedas, what is yoga. So we need this space of storage and information, right? I know this, I know that, I know this. But then you need the next layer to be able to really polish that. You need the yoga techniques to be applied. So Mana Maya Kosha, how we're going to control the mind in one yoga class? Definitely with mantras. Inhale, let, exhale, go. What are you letting go? Your traumas, your fears, you know. Can be something, you know, more into yoga. I had recommend Soham. Inhale, so, exhale, hum. So mantra would be a great way to purify the mind in that yoga class. And I will recommend, you know, start with some English or native language in Spanish or whatever, so they can become more at ease with it. And then eventually you can go to something more, you know, Sanskrit or Hindu or like that, whatever is the lineage. The diet is completely connected with the mind as well, right? Because if I drink alcohol or if I have a lot of coffee, that's going to affect my mind, my intellect, my capacity to analyze and, como se dice, raciocinio, rationalize. And if I'm intoxicated, you know, everybody looks so beautiful now. Right? So we need to be careful, you know. So the mind is this big computer that they're still like studying, like the capacity of the mind is incredible. But if we let the mind, you know, be pulled by these wild horses, right? All the directions, you have absolutely no control, you have no self-control, no filter. The tongue tells you, give me ice cream, and you have the whole pot of ice cream. Or, you know, you want to have, again, a glass of wine, and then you have two bottles, you know. And a lot of people are in this stage where they absolutely let the horses go wild, and then it becomes suffering afterwards, right? On the long term, all these incorrect actions will have its results. Then we have Vijnana Maya Kosha. Vijnana means wisdom, and this is what we can say like a more deep knowing. So here is where you can start having a better discrimination of things. Deep knowing, deep down, you know that is incorrect to kill. You know this very well. Deep down, you know, if he is direct, more bloody. If it's indirect, it's still killing. Because you're accomplice with the killers. Right? You know that stealing is incorrect. But when we buy things from China, which I'm also blame of, I am stealing someone in the other side of the world to make a fair, to receive a fair pay for their work, for their labor. Because if this whole product costs me $5, how much they pay them to make it? You see what I'm saying? What does it go? So deep down, we know. Another example is like basically now the knowledge that is being fed by the intellect gives some information to Vijnanamaya Kosha, and now becomes like something that is deep down of your knowing. Like another example can be like riding a bicycle. You ride a bicycle when you are like 5, 6, 7, and you learn and you ride, and now you know how to ride a bicycle. And then 10 years you don't ride because you're living in Manhattan and your office is next to your house and you don't ride bicycle. But if something happened and you need to grab someone's bicycle because you're running away from your kidnappers, then you ride a bicycle. It's inside your deep knowing. No matter what is inside there, and you are not going to forget. Like sometimes when I go to Brazil, now I compare a lot of the herbs with Ayurveda, for example. But in Brazil is from Brazil and India is from India. So I don't know. I go there in Brazil and I don't know the botanical names, the names, scientific name of the plants. But I know that this plant is for asthma. This plant is for cramps for your menstrual cycle. This plant is for inflammation in the joints. You know, you can use plants and heal yourself. But I don't know the name. I know how they look like because I grew up with them. So now I have a deep knowing. Wherever I go, I know. Actually, in our fence, in the fence, here around Miami, in this 8th Street, sometimes it gets a fruit that is red. That is small. It's called carambola and has 5 more times than vitamin C than orange. And you eat it. So every time I come to Sydney, they pick up the fruits from the fence. Some people have looked at me like, what is she doing? But they're fruit. And in Brazil, they sell. And now we have in our fences. But no, not everybody knows that. Right? So Vijnanamaya Kosha is when you have you can say that is almost like a certain wisdom, right? It's a deep knowing that goes beyond your intellect. You don't need to learn again to ride the bicycle. You don't need to learn again that, you know, is incorrect to hurt someone. You just know these things.
It's kind of with someone chakra, like the knowing, like.
Yeah, you can say that it's connected with your Vishuddha and your Ajna, you know, with those of like be able to receive information and to see what is. Yeah, you can say that. But Vijnanamaya.
It's not like a gut feeling.
The guts is coming from Manipura because you feel it here sometimes. Like I feel something. But it can be also like from intuition, you know. So Vijnanamaya Kosha is what we're going to denominate has wisdom or has a deep knowing that is beyond the intellect, that is like bossing you around. Es más allá de ese.
When I started this path in my life, I have a sound here, I go to the doctor say, you're fine, I don't have anything. Like for months, like 3 months. When I do a class with a constellation, like a daily constellation, I say, is something bigger than you is talking to you? Because I am feel good, I don't know what happened. In my life is gonna be changing every day, like a lot deep, a lot. I feel like something, and sometimes it's coming like to me. Be careful, pay attention, focus, come back to the present. And I hear something like
Yeah.
like years ago, I was pregnant and I take a decision to not continue, but no. Next year, like that, I start to feel like, and the lady said, it's the beginning of the heart of your baby because you need to forgive yourself and there you go and learn what happened. You need to learn about that because I
Criticize yourself.
Yeah, exactly. A lot for that.
Okay.
And then I feel this like beating in my ear.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, well, we have that, like this opposite energy sometimes, but there's basically the mind divided, and also the mind can be influenced by these different divine beings, right? Like Shiva can be more heavy and dense, and then you have the angelical, like, Vishnu and Krishna and Jesus. They're like, oh, do the right thing. Like, you want to kill your brain.
What is
do
the
the right
right
thing. Love each other, forgive yourself, right? So yeah, you're always going to have like this until you become more in unification, in fully presence, and you don't need to be suffering for, this back and forth. And that is it does bring a lot of like, pain because you don't know what to do, you don't know what to do. And a lot of people are divided right now, I don't want to bring those political subjects too much, but it's clear, like the water, that it has a big division, even within, the Jewish community, of course they want to be free of the attacks of the terrorists and release the hostages, but at the same time, a lot of the this Jewish, they don't neither want to kill children. So it's just like, oh my God, what to do? And it's just, and then we have again Ukraine and Russia divided, two families, they're both living. So if we have Vijnana Maya Kosha, which is the more wisdom layer, we will be able to see that it's all an illusion of the politics and strategy of the world. And we really need to go beyond that, above that. You know how many favors are between these politicians? Like, okay, I support you overcome Russia if you hack the campaign and change the algorithm so I can win the campaign. Look, there's negotiation. It's almost like a chess game, right? And also, United States is doing the whole thing. Also, it does. United States is another country. It has nothing to do with that area, but in that area has a lot of oil. A lot of oil there. That's super valuable. So it's all about strategy, politics, and money. So why are we, at this level, creating, fights and war when we don't have nothing to do with their business? And we're not going to gain anything from their business neither. So if we have more Vijnanamaya Kosha, we'll be able to have a more understanding without the illusion, without the Maya of what is really, really happening. And again, keep neutrality, not just go. This is also, again, in the Yoga Sutras, the Yoga Sutras has something that we're going to see in that link that I just sent you. It breaks down the koshas that we're seeing right here. has something called kleshas, and kleshas are obstacles for your spiritual development. So it's easy because once you know, you know. Once you know, okay, this is an obstacle. And basically, this is when you like something too much, you become attached to that. But at the same time, you become attached to something, you reject something that is not that. So it's love and hate, in a more sick way, right? Love and hate. It's almost like you can say like racism, right? In America. So there's like a lot of things about, white supremacy. And if he has something going on in the street and has a couple black kids, definitely this all follow the black kids. And we have seen this also many times, sometimes they are put it in jail, or even worse, they are shot, and out of the sudden they didn't have any guns, they had a water gun, and they were playing in the garden. But because of this, you are better than me, you are more important than us, you are inferior than us, all this incorrect, polluted intellect, then these atrocities are happening. So again, it's all about the mind. So again, in yoga, what are we going to do with Vijnana Maya Kosha in the yoga class? I like to give scriptures. Like, for example, when you guys are doing the triangle pose, and I say triangle is a sacred geometry, pyramids are sacred, and this is a representation of the Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity repeats and repeats. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, Brahma, Creator, Vishnu, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, preserver of humanity, preserve, love each other, don't kill each other. And then you have Shiva, which is the transformer or the destroyer. So you try to give a little bit of wisdom in your classes. Doesn't need to be overwhelming, but you can mention the 8 limbs during an hour and a half. They're doing sun salutations. They say, yeah, we are saluting the sun, and in yoga, we have 8 steps that can bring you to union with the creator, and asanas is the 3rd one. Before that, we have yamas and niyamas. We have the scriptures are asking us not to harm, not to lie, not to steal. And then you say a few things, and then you don't say anything. Then you can be, quiet. Let them understand what you said, and then let a moment to go, and then you can say a few more things. Another way that I like to do it is when they are in Shavasana, you can pick up half a page of a book and you can read. And that is a win-win, because they're in Shavasana, but you are reading for yourself. So you are doing this Svadhyaya for you and for your students. So now it's not just Annamaya Kosha class, just, superficial layer. Now is more depth. No, it's more deep. I go to a yoga class, I don't just work my biceps and triceps. I also are opening my mind, my Vijnana Maya Kosha, and I'm learning something. You can talk about one chakra per class. You can say keywords. You don't need to explain the whole book. We have energy centers in our body. That's one good piece of information. One sun salutation. They are mainly located in your spinal cord. Another sun salutation. They're connected with the elements. Therefore, if you balance the elements in your body and your environment, you will feel more balanced yourself. Now people are really pressing attention at you. So again, it doesn't need to be overwhelming information, but how we're going to penetrate Vijnana Maya Kosha, give them some good knowledge that it will become wisdom for their lives, you know? Doing warrior pose, be like Lord Ram, the warrior of the warriors, the one that teaches by example of ethics and courage and protects the good ones against evil. So now they're doing warrior, like I want to be like Lord Ram, you know. So coming from philosophy, the epic period. So, but now they're like listening to some of these names as well, you know. In yoga, in the Hare Krishna community, they say if you hear the names of God one time in your life, you are going to get already an upgrade on your soul. That's why they chant on the street, because they want people to hear the holy names, right? So if you hear Shiva, Krishna, Jesus, and Buddha, those are sacred names. So, you know, you come to yoga class, we should hear something sacred. So Vijnanamaya Kosha, trying to teach your students some wisdom somehow. And then we have Anandamaya Kosha. Ananda means bliss. Bliss es como felicidad pura, éxtasis. So Ananda is pure happiness. And Ananda is the closer layer of the self. And the self is Atman. And Atman is that mini soul of God inside your heart. So Ananda Maya Kosha is when you start vibrating like the personality of God, like you feel grateful, you feel blessed, you feel happy, you see the positive things, you have kindness, patience, friendly thoughts, feelings. When you are in that state, you are here, look, has closed, has Atman. Atman is the soul of God inside yourself. Another metaphor is saying that, for example, a drop of the ocean is the ocean. The ocean is God, a drop of the ocean is Atman. So you have Atman, soul of God inside yourself. And when we are in that state of just feeling so connected and so happy and so like in tune, just full of joy, you know that you are closer to the soul of God inside yourself. So Atman is the deeper layers, the deeper koshas. What is the most superficial? The body. And we have the body, And we have the energy. Yesterday we felt the energy. The energy can be like literally like a field around the body. Yeah. And then we have the mind, do this, do that, don't forget to eat, don't forget to gotta do the laundry. Midnight. Okay, right? And so then you have some knowing, okay, I understand that my fence is not just no purpose. I can have vitamin C from my fence. You start having some wisdom about things and life and understanding what is wrong, what is not wrong, what is going to give you happiness. Actually, this is incorrect. What is going to cause you suffering and what is not going to cause you suffering. Because in philosophy, nothing can make you happy. You are already happy. You are already complete. You are already infinite amount of compassion, infinite amount of love, infinite amount of knowledge, understanding. What is the problem? Is Maya. We forgot. We got covered, we literally got brainwashed by this veil, by the media, by the TV, by the politics, by the phone. And now we lost our identity. We don't know who we are, we cannot see. Maya came and put a bag in our face. So when we are in that state of truly happiness, and it is a different type of happiness. Some people get happy when they got a pair of shoes. I'm so happy wearing shoes. But that also doesn't last. Once they wear one time, new shoes. Right? That is a false happiness, let's say. But sometimes you just, again, you do a yoga class, you go to see the sunrise, and you feel good. You feel life is good, and you feel like, okay, I'm so happy with, everything that I need, I have, thank you. And it's a different kind of happiness. It's more stable, doesn't have pikes. It's more tranquil too. It's not like emotional charge. You are like in a state of santosha, in a state of contentment. It's almost like a gentle smile. Like, right? If you ask a master, how are you doing? He never is going to say, oh, I'm doing great. What about you? How you doing? No, good. I'm good. It's good. More sitting. So Anandamaya Kosha is when we start feeling that more lasting happiness to be, recognized as, yeah, we do have some inner guidance inside, and we are not alone in the world. We have a celestial father. We have our elements, Mother Earth. They are somehow also they are our parents, because if you don't have the sun, or you don't have, then you neither exist. And so Anandamaya Kosha is just feeling that pure joy, pure bliss, happiness to be alive, happiness for everything. And that is qualities of God. And that is what you are. You're supposed to be like that all the time. When you are not in that state of Anandamaya Kosha, it's because you're being pulled by the vitris, by the incorrect energy, right? Incorrect actions, incorrect behavior, and now you're no longer closer to self of the Atman, because now you're being pulled by the senses of the material body and other emotions and feelings like jealousy or anger. And those are definitely going to pull you away from the deepest of your essence of the self and Atman and like that, right? And then finally we have the self or Atman, and this is basically that supreme consciousness. This is the lamp, this is the light, this is the source of everything. And basically you can even describe God at his full capacity because is so vast and omnipresent and magnific. And usually we just give some sort of description just for us to rationalize with our Vijnana Maya Kosha and Mano Maya Kosha, but God is everything. God is the source of all universes and all life and all the cycles of the earth and the ice age and all everything is made by this energy of creation. All the animals, the volcanoes, the dolphins, the butterflies, the different races, the different countries. And this is also beautiful, right? Have different cultures, different ways to live life. And this is where we want to get. We want to get to the deep down of Atman. Most likely will be done through meditation to silence the mind. And Anandamaya Kosha in your yoga class, you can incentivize maybe like coaching, right? Because you want to pull the happiness from that person and you want to say, you know, to them, I don't know, maybe they're again doing camel pose and you say, you know, allow yourself to forgive and be a free spirit. A warrior pose, and you can say something like, you know, the sun is shining within you, you know, emotions are like clouds in the sky, let them go, you know, shine your light. And they're doing some navasana, boat or crow, when you say something, believe on your power, you have incredible amount of power, you can manifest anything you want. And you get out of the closet, you're like, yeah, can manifest everything. God is inside me. Who's against me? Right? So you empower them. So then you and I usually, this is also, I feel like you know, someone tells me things like that, you know, believe that you are connected with everything. Out of the sun in my heart, my anahata expands. Like, oh yeah. It's true. Thank you for the reminder. And so we all need reminders, and we all need people to, you know, remind us sometimes of our nature until you achieve dharana, the last steps of Ashtanga, and you are concentrated on your path and so grounded that then you don't need that anymore because you know. Because Vijnanamaya Kosha is purified, your intellect is purified, your body is purified. And now you know who you really are, you know that, you know, God is within you and you have that certainty and you live your life with that reality. So the way that you act and the way that you perform also changes, you know. And definitely that was one of the things that maybe stop cursing in traffic, perhaps. Because if everyone is God and everything is God, how can I curse God? Curse to God. That person is my brother, you know. So no. So then you change. So these are the koshas. So we have 5 koshas. Annamaya kosha is the physical layer. Pranamaya kosha is the energy layer. Manomaya kosha is the mind. Vijnanamaya kosha is more into your wisdom and deep knowing. And Anandamaya kosha is bliss or pure happiness. From these 5 layers, you will have 3 bodies. One body is the body, as Ananda Maya Kosha, is the physical body. Physical body. Anamaya Kosha, physical body. El cuerpo. And then the subtle ones, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, and Vijnanamaya Kosha, that's everything that you cannot touch. That is your subtle body. Your subtle body. Tu cuerpo energético de alguna manera.
Two.
Pranamaya Kosha, la mente y la sabiduría es tu cuerpo sutil. El cuerpo que no puedes tocar. You cannot see and you cannot touch. Prana, mana, and vijnana. Energy, mental, and wisdom are your subtle body. And then we have Ananda Maya Kosha. That is your soul body. Your soul body. Luego es tu cuerpo, tu alma.
Energy, body, energy, and soul. Bodies. Body, like physical body, energy, body.
Or body, mind, and soul. Because the mind what makes you rule your emotions in a way as well. I'm happy, I'm sad. Preguntas? Questions? So remember, in each single class, every yoga class, you need to penetrate the 5 koshas. It cannot be only physical. It must have pranayamas. It must have something to tranquilize the mind. I suggest mantra, but maybe again, between you giving some sacred knowledge, you can also feed the mind in that way. And then Ananda, allowing the students to leave the class feeling happy and joyful and released and connected. So your words will guide them towards this direction. And then when they finish the class, they will feel like a very cool experience. They will have the effects about many hours. You know, they did a class in the morning and they're super happy until the end of the day, and it lasts a long time. So this is the images here that I put here from the link of Swamiji, and you have all the explanation is there about the koshas and Vedanta, and that link that I put it on the WhatsApp group. So it's super good for you to have, because I actually got some information from that Swamiji page for the manual. So it has a lot of beautiful information there about Yoga Sutras and Vedanta. But quite frankly, you have a big manual as well, so you can read one thing at a time. So let's do an Om to finish the class together. Exhaling. Namaste. All right, let's stop this video.
Ananda Maya.